me just fix that for a little bit. Okay. Now remember what we did last Friday. It doesn't matter whether you have 2 elements showing or whether you have 4. The process is going to all be the same. Okay, guys, let's unplug. Yes, the first 10, 15 minutes, you need to give that to me. Let's go, Melissa. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is you're going to divide by what? By the molar mass. And so you're going to get the weight off of the periodic table. So for copper, it's what? Remember, here you can round it off. For copper, it's 64. What about bromine?
79.9.
Yep, and so we can round it off to 80, right? Okay, now you need a calculator, and you're going to divide 28.4 divided by 64. Now remember that here they could give you this given. They can give it to you in percent, and also they can give it to you in grams. Very good, okay? It's just a refresher because I know we started this on Friday. Okay, so now that 28.4 divided by 64, how many significant figures do you have to give me? 3. Okay, so what are they? What was that? What are your 3 sig figs? 0.443. So we can round that off to 0.444, right? That sounds like yeah, that commercial. Okay, so that's 0.444. Oh, you can't really see that. Let's try this. Okay, now let's do bromine. You have 71.6, and you're going to divide that by the 80. I'm sorry, what was that? He's right, 0.895. Okay, so now, what was my next?
You times everything by the lowest one?
No. You're going to divide by the smallest number. Now remember, it does say empirical formula, but there's no actual formula. You have to follow the steps. Okay? So yes, you're going to divide by the smallest number. Okay? And my smallest number is the 0.444. So for copper, what is that going to give me? 1. Very good. And for bromine, 0.895 divided by 0.444 is going to be what? 2.01. So you're going to round that off to what? To 2. Very good. Okay. So now, this means that you have 1 copper and you have 2 bromine. This chemical formula is your empirical formula. Okay? What questions do we have so far?
So we're just basically working backwards.
Yes, and later this week I'm going to show you how to get those percents. These percents, really, this is how a chemist copies from one company to another company. Okay, this is how Pepsi is going to copy from Coca-Cola. They're going to figure out what percent or how many grams of a particular element is in that product. Then they're going to put those all together and they're going to figure out exactly what compound it is. Because could I have something different here? Copper has different charges, right? It could be a +1, it could be a +2. So I could have copper Br, or I could have copper Br2, right? I need to figure out which one is going to be the right one because this would be incorrect, right? Okay. So it just depends on what's in that particular product. They're trying to figure out what's the percentage of a particular compound is in there. Okay. All right. So now, what if we do something different? What if I give you the molecular formula like down here on the bottom? Here I'm giving you C6H12O6. That's your molecular formula. How can I figure out the empirical formula?
By dividing by 6.
By dividing by the common denominator. Very good. Okay? So if I divide everything by 6, how many carbons am I going to have? 1. How many hydrogens am I going to have? 2. And how many oxygen am I going to have? 1. Because 6 divided by 6 is 1, right? Do we need another one?
Yeah, you know what? Let's just do number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. Are we good on the
So if there's no common denominator, it's just the same thing.
right? If the common denominator is already just 1, then you have the same formula. It's going to be your empirical formula. Okay? If you can't divide it out, if there's no way to reduce it, then that is your empirical formula. Okay? Yes? So like C, you can't divide it out, right? So it would stay as Fe2O3. We see that? Okay. All right. Is there anything else that we need to refresh our memory on? Because I know it's on Friday. Before we grade Friday's work, we sure?
Oh.
Okay. No questions? No questions on the empirical formula? Okay. All right.